evening and welcome to PRTv special Paxton Road TV. You're not going to believe this, but ladies and gentlemen, we've got a special guest. And if you're a massive Spurs fan, then guess what? We're all loving Big Ange instead. Let me introduce with the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, without further introduction, let me introduce you to the main man, the man who's going global. Forget Robbie Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, James Black, the voice of Spurs, is in the house. And joining me with James will be Pav and our very own Darius. Good evening, everyone. How are we?
Good. How are you guys?
We're all good. We're all good. These two guys wanted to come on today. Pav, Darius.
I feel honored to be in the presence of Mr. James Black. It's an honor to be on the stream with you, and just want to say thank you for the great song that we've got with our great managers. So yeah, doing good. Hope you guys are all good as well. Nice to see you, Pav, again. Nice to see Sid. So hopefully we can have a great show today.
So James, I mean, you can introduce yourself and you can tell us how you've gone global. I've got a little video of you playing it as well, but if you tell us how it all started, and then I'll play it, and then we'll talk a lot more and we'll get questions in as well.
Okay, well, first off, hi, I'm honoured to be on here as well. Thank you. Great to see you guys. How it went global, it went before Robbie got involved, which is how he got to hear it, because it had gone viral before. What happens is that the fans choose, basically. It's how it should be. It's organic. So we started playing it at the stadium on the Man United game, and I couldn't hear myself because the crowd was so loud. Like straight away, they got the song straight away. And I have a drummer, and we had to turn the monitors up just to hear ourselves. So we knew it was good from that. And then it just took off on its own. You can't manufacture these things. This is all organic. And then I got a text off after it gone viral in England and Australia. I got a text off somebody, a Twitter message, and it says Robbie's going to do it in sound check. And I thought, Robbie? Who's Robbie? And I put two and two together. And I was down the pub at the time, so I was a little bit, I didn't know what to believe or what not. I'd had a few drinks, and then he just said, "It's on." Check his Instagram, and it was there. So it's all been mad, really. To be honest.
That's just, do you know what? That's just crazy, because it's like you said. I mean, I'll put the video on. If everybody's, obviously there's a lot of people, everybody knows, everyone's heard of it. I mean, like you said, Robbie Williams has heard of it, so it's gone global. This is the actual video. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the one. Here we go. So that's Michael Bridge, that is.
That's Michael Bridge from Sky Sports singing on the end on that mic.
Oh, was that Michael
I didn't even know that was Michael Bridge. That's so cool.
I didn't know that. Wow. And he's a massive Spurs fan, isn't he?
Massive.
Yeah.
That was the second time I played it. So I just played it once about 30 seconds before. People were already singing it. And he's coming through the crowd. I could see him coming through the crowd with his phone filming. Wow. And I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, can I? I said, yeah, man. And he's come on and sung the last line.
Right. So I'm going to ask Darius and Pav to ask you a few questions. But what I want to know, right, is how long have you been a Spurs fan, right? First question. And then the second question is then, how did it get into the stage where you're actually now singing at Spurs?
So how long I've been all my life. My first game as a Spurs fan was the FA Cup final 1987. That's showing my age there. And we lost it, obviously. Gary Mabbutt's knee. But since then, started getting super addicted in 1991 with Gazza and Lineker. That was my super. After that, it's been my whole life since then, since 91, to be honest. How I got involved in the stadium, I was there was a as a musician was playing, I was a guest at a game. My friend had a box, and I said to the guy, "Do you mind me coming to have a go? Just give me an audition." And he'd said, "Yeah." People were playing songs, and I just had Spurs songs in my head, and nobody was doing that before I'd gone on there. And Mickey Hazard was there, and he said to me, and he's going around like he's a lovely guy, being around, go around and talk to everybody. He said, I said, "Look, I've only got Spurs songs." He goes, "Do that then, I'll sing along." And if it weren't for that, I probably might not have done it. And he did, and it was a great crack straight away. Basically, the fans kind of took to it even in the audition. And since then I wrote the Champions League one in 2019, the LA lyrics, and then it took off from that basically.
Wow, that's mad. That's amazing. You know what? I'm amazed. I'm gonna ask you later on about the actual lyrics for the song. Pav, Darius, fire away, guys. If you've got questions, if you want to ask him anything.
Pav, you go first. You go first, Pav.
Are you sure? Okay. Well, hi, James.
Hiya.
Can I just say that you're a massive inspiration? Like, you're amazing, and your song is like 24/7 in my head. I'm singing it all the time.
Bless you.
So my question is, how did you come about making that song? Like, what inspired you to make that song?
Right. Well, I was traveling in between the seasons. The only time I'm going to get off is when it's in between the football seasons. So when it gets to like May, I go away. And I was in South America at the time. I was in Bolivia, and I already had in my head the Ange and Angels was already like a thing. I've always got like ideas going on basically. And so when I was away, Pochettino had come out and said, Chelsea is the biggest club, etc. And I was like, wow, it's kind of like, felt like seeing your ex-girlfriend with a new man kind of scenario. That one line, it really kind of got to me. I thought, hang on, what? This is really happening, and he's putting the boot in here a little bit. And I wanted to put a little bit back in. So that was when it kind of started going in my head. Pochettino's dead. I'm loving Big Ange instead. That was running around in my head. And then it was just built off the back of that. And then I watched the West Ham friendly that we lost, but I just loved how we played. So that's that line that we'll play the way we want to with Big Ange Postecoglou come from. And it just built from there, really. And it organically happens for me when it's a good one, I think. But it takes a while. It's not like 1 minute, really. I can't. There's so much. You've got to get in a little bit of humour for him to sing it. So that's what a Christian Gross line was in there.
Do you know what, Pav, before you carry on, what you just said, right? You just said Pochettino's dead, and the next line, and then I don't think you're probably thinking this, but right in your mind, straight after that, you said, and then it was running through my head. And I'm thinking, hold on, thoughts running through my head. And I'm
good.
How does that work? You're thinking that, and then you automatically, I don't know if you meant it, but you just said it was running through my head. And I'm like, that's the lyrics from Robbie Williams as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's
madness. Well, I stole his song and he stole my lyrics, so we were at 1-0, weren't we? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this went from there, man. It's got to be organic, really. It takes some of them hit, some of them don't hit, but it's just a dream job. Like, I'm Tottenham over absolutely everything, and nothing even comes close to how I feel about. And it always been like that. I don't know what you guys are like, but it just affects my whole mood if they lose and win, and it's massive. So I guess that obsession with Tottenham helps, really, and I just keep going around thinking about things until I've got it right.
Yeah, that's so cool. I was just thinking, like, just from a creative standpoint, because it's so sort of, the lyrics seems like you spend so long thinking about these lyrics and, you know, pondering what's going to work so well. But now you've had this conversation with you, it almost feels like things sort of come naturally. And when you know it sort of works, you kind of go with it. So sort of, how long does that creative process sort of take to kind of make a new song, think of a new song, think of the song that you're going to sort of make a cover to? It's quite interesting to see all of it come to fruition. It's so amazing. I couldn't even think of the first line of a song, let alone what song I'm going to cover, how I'm going to sing it, how I'm going to change the lyrics. So it's just interesting to see like how long that creative process takes for you.
Yeah, I think you get knowledge from doing it. I've been doing it for a few years now. You get knowledge of what sort of thing they will sing and what sort of thing they won't sing from playing and getting it through the years. So once you've got something, you think, oh, they would sing. I knew that note in Angels and through. I knew everyone would go for that.
Yeah.
And once you've got a song like that, you kind of, I don't spend too long on the sitting down with a guitar, really. I just have them going round and round in my mind. And once I think I've got something, I'll write it down. And then I'll put it onto a voice recorder or something. And then I'll leave it. And if I can't remember it, it's no good. That's how I judge it. If you have to kind of know it, remember it, that's to stay in your own head. Otherwise, it's not going to stay in other people's. And the ones that I remember, I'll then put into a set list and try at the stadium. Basically, that's how I do it.
Cool. I love that. I mean, like I said, I have no idea what you have in store, but if if there's anything along the lines of our lovely Big Anshong and all the others you've made, then I'm just give you the keys and we will enjoy what you have in store for us.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, we've got one of our hosts is Sean. He's been from the 60s all the way, 70s all the way. He's a massive, and he plays the guitar as well. So I don't know if you know about this, James, but every show I end up singing something along any song that's in my mind, I'll start singing it, right? And once or twice I've done it 2 or 3 times. And sometimes Sean comes on with his guitar. Unfortunately, he's not well tonight, so he's asked the question as well. Has James got a Papa Saw song in development?
Yeah, but it's at very early stages. I have, yeah. I mean, he's brilliant, isn't he? Like, I've got a Papa Saw one. I've got 2 or 3 for Madison. I've got a couple for Dogi because I think he's been playing brilliant. Yeah, it's quite a few. I'm at a very early stage of a Vicario one as well. But he's,
nice.
He deserves one, man.
Absolutely. Because on a couple of our shows that we've done, after the first game, Vicario got absolutely slaughtered. And Sean, literally, you know what? He was telling people that, guys, give the guy a break. It's his first game. He's just coming to the new club, new country. Give him time. And then the second game, everybody's like, yes, he's the man. He's the man.
To be honest, though, he was a worry until the season started for me. He was a worry. But I'm just being completely honest. And since he started, he's been absolutely incredible. And I think everyone in this is going, don't worry, it's going to be fine. Do you know what I mean? And he got La Liga goalie of the season, didn't he, or something? I think. Yeah. So, yeah, he was a worry until the first game, and he's been absolutely insane.
Good. That's what we like to hear. Dino, so another one of our guys. James, welcome. Are you working on an FA Cup song for us?
Well, I got I know the kit guy at Tottenham, and he knows the players and gets me involved, gets me a little link to the players and everything as well. And he was talking to me about how they enjoy this song compared to like the other things that have been happening before, and would I be interested in something to do with like the FA Cup final if we get to an FA Cup final? But I think that would probably be the only way I would do it, because you can't be too. What happens is you got the other teams, haven't you? You don't want to sort of embarrass your own club by throwing in something too early. Do you know what I mean? And not getting to a final. But if we got to a final, 100%, and that's what the feedback from the kit man was saying. That's what we would need as well. So yeah, I'm well up for it, to be honest. Yeah.
Wicked. That's good. Right. I've got 3 boys, right? I've got a 24, a 20, and a 16-year-old. And my eldest, he just comes in. No matter what he's doing, he'll just start singing yours one, right?
Oh.
He'll just start singing it. And we're like, shut up! And he just goes on and on and on. My youngest wants to ask you a question, and he wants to know, is there an anthem coming that we can sing just before kickoff? Because them lot down that road, they've got that song, haven't they? And that's gone massive, hasn't it? And now they're starting playing it, you know. And I think this one that you've got, it can do wonders at the club, because we've had some crap music out as the players are coming out. But anything that you do, or even this one, I think the crowd will take to it like honey to water, or whatever you want to call it. Anything like that planned?
Yeah, but again, I think that's the whole thing for me has got to come back. It's got to be organic. It's got to be how the fans take to it. It's got to be what the fans want. It's got to be right timing. It can't be like coming from me being forced and going, what about this? What about this? What about that? I don't want to do it like that. I just want to do it just nice and gradually with the fans and see what they want for me to kind of do, if you know what I mean, and make it all organic. You got Can't Smile Without You that comes out just before. Now I think I've changed a few things, and I really love that, and I play that at the gigs and that as well. So I think the answer is it's got to be in the right time and organic for me, but definitely it's in the heads. I always used to play around with the lines. I bleed lily white when I was writing stuff for my own stuff anyway, because I was so obsessed with Tottenham. Yeah, and maybe something along those lines, or like a nice real story about how it feels to do what I'm doing at Tottenham because it's just a dream. So maybe just something that's real, something that's not forced.
Yeah.
And in time, the fans can pick up if they want to. That's my best way with it, really. Yeah, and rather than getting some big PR team behind and going, I don't want to do it.
No. This is it, isn't it? You've got the feeling's got to be right. Though everyone's got to be behind you, and
it's got to be real.
It's got to be real. The fans have to feel it as well, because I mean them lot down the road, that song at the beginning, that I think a lot of Arsenal fans that I've spoken to, they've said to me that it sends shivers down them because they're actually singing it, and plus it's been done by someone like you.
Yeah,
a fan.
The problem they've got with that one is it's not actually been North London forever, has it? It's been South London for most of the time.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. What you said.
I'm more than that happy to do.
Yeah, and they've got to be early, aren't you? Did you watch them the other day? The celebrations and the Declan Rice song and the Sweet Caroline song and all that. Man, I thought they'd won the league. That's madness.
This is the thing I have to keep a real conscious of is when you get into like a place like this off the back of that viral song, all I want to do is the right move for the Spurs fans. Like, I don't want to do what's exactly just right for me, and I don't want to do that because you go down this bad route that can end up in like embarrassing the club or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not saying obviously I'll do that, but you've got to be conscious. And that's why I'm making smaller moves and just more organic stuff that's real. And I think in time that should build into something. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. We're behind you all the way, man. One of you, Pav, Darius, you want to ask?
Pav, I do have a question if you don't mind. This is sort of more towards the Tottenham side of things. So I know we have you here for your amazing musical abilities, but first and foremost, we all are Spurs fans as well. So I do kind of want to get your opinion on the man that you made the song about, and how his tenure has started, how you think it's going to go. If you have any changes of opinion on how you think the season is going to go after the results of the first 4 games, and just maybe a few words on how Spurs are playing this season, because I think it's been night and day, should we say, from last season.
Well, the best thing is my flatmate's a Tottenham fan as well, and we've been counting down the hours to the next game each time.
Oh God,
I haven't been like that since Pochettino era. In terms of what I think about the guy is, what I think is incredible is they gave him a long contract, Tottenham, and there's a reason we can see that reason already. I read a bit that Alistair Gold has put up recently about his book. Have you seen that? He had a book that was published in 2016 about what he does at football clubs. And how he operates is just mental. He'll go in, but he'll do it he'll make sure everyone believes in the project, and whoever isn't along is just going out. So the reason he's made so many massive changes, he has to go in with the full belief of his own project, and whoever isn't on board is out, which is why we're seeing huge changes in terms of like the senior groups, wasn't it? It was Kane, Dyer and Højbjerg and all that. We're seeing that fragmented and moved away. We're seeing a new, young, exciting captaincy in the East that they all scored, didn't they? Romero, Sonny and Matters. So I think like he goes in purposely to make massive changes from what I saw on these excerpts from his book. That's the bit I'm most excited about. Although I'm loving how we're playing, I don't think we've even stuck tip of the iceberg of what's going to be happening. I think I think Brennan Johnson's going to be incredible. I think Brian Hill's going to fit into this system. Once you start looking that way, we have got a bit of an array of talent there. The only bit of my concern is I saw that he was I think I saw from We Are Tottenham TV had put something up about his interview on after the Barcelona game, saying he would like to get another centre back, and we didn't get one in. That's my only concern, like for up until January, and then January got AFCON, where we lose a few. So in regards to Big Ange, absolutely brilliant. I think we're just starting here, and I think we've got a really good shot of the FA Cup. He's learned from that League Cup game that Tottenham are not going to be happy if he does these changes, and we've got nothing else apart from this. So I think we've got a great shot at the FA Cup.
Agree.
I went on holiday a couple of months ago, Turkey, and everybody's got their tops on, and everything. And we all had our Spurs stuff on, and I was walking past in the hotel, and funny enough, a Scottish guy stopped me, and he went, "You've nicked our manager." And I'm like, "Oh, right, okay." He goes, "Mate, when he first came to us, nobody liked him. No one had ever heard of him. We had to do a Google, as Danny Rose would say. But he said after a year or 2 years, he said, wow, he said, what an absolute star manager, star man, what a manager. He said, we are heartbroken at Celtic to let him go. And his missus she's Rangers, and she went, I'm not going to lie, she went, I'm Rangers. But she said, you've got one hell of a manager. I said, yeah, but have they got a chairman like us? Because we've got one hell of a chairman as well, But he was adamant. He said, you know what? You lot are going to love it. He says, the way he plays football, he said, you lot are going to love it. And he goes, this is coming from a Celtic fan. He said, you've taken our manager. And the guy was heartbroken, literally heartbroken.
Yeah. You can see that as well. You can see he's not just a good manager, he's a good man. You can see that. You know, you saw the clip on the opening game of the season, before it started, he comes out. He obviously must be like nerves going through him. It's the first time he's going to be meeting all the Tottenham fans. And his first point of call, we went over to all the ball boys and shook their hands and said, wow. Yeah, that is that's the sort of guy he is.
Small things, isn't it?
Fine into that. And you put that alongside them tactics, and I think it's just going to be phenomenal. Because then players want to play for people like that as well, don't they? They want to throw everything for good men like that. And I think that's what's happening.
And I think also, when you look at what you said, the players, compared to last season, they're in it now, aren't they? They're all together. They're united, and they're not playing like individuals. They want to actually play now as a team for the fans, for themselves, and for the club. I mean, them celebrations, the way they're celebrating goals. And I want to ask you about James Maddison. What do you think the way he's already integrated into this club? Because remember, we was after him before he went from Norwich days, and we didn't want to pay that extra 1-2 million, and we never got him. And then it seemed like he was drifting away from us. And then for him to come back to us and just blend in like he's been there all along. What do you make of that?
Well, first off, I think there might be at some point the police might get involved with why we only paid 45 million for him. Wasn't it? Absolutely mental. I think he's going to be key man. I really do. I think he's going to be. What I'm salivating over is when Bentancur's back as well, with Bentancur, Boomer, and Madders. Is there a better Premier League midfield? Maybe Man City's.
No.
Maybe. But is there? I don't. It's like
I still am going to say Man City, but I will say by smidge. By smidge.
I would probably say just about Man City, but I think we're second there. So I can't wait for that. Maddison's been brilliant. But when you used to watch him play for Leicester, and we knew he was at that missing piece. He plays the Tottenham way, doesn't he? He plays how the Tottenham way should be. When we used to have like Ginola, Ericsson. These players that Hoddle, Gaza, that create, and I think he said in one of his interviews, "I'm a Tottenham. I play a Tottenham way. I can see myself fitting into the team." And didn't he? Big Ange said, "Whether you come or not, you're going to see a completely different Tottenham under me." That is the balls of the man. Do you know what I mean? To say that to him before he'd signed. Yeah. Brilliant though. But I think he's going to be one of the key men, to be honest with you. I think Udogie, I can't work out.
Oh wow!
We got him and for that price either. The way that he plays, wow.
Can I just say something about Udogie? Yeah, what this is mine and Sean's little play on it. What we've got to say, he's gonna be the best fucking left back in the world.
I reckon. I honestly, the way that he plays, that's what I reckon. You can see them
all rounded.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. He's got the strength. He's got the youth on his side as well. And there was clips, wasn't there, in the commentary going, and this is the left back, and he's just cutting through everybody in the middle. I can't believe it. I'm really excited about that. But I looked in that. There was someone put the squad up with their replacements if someone got injured, and it's the goalie, the two centre backs. That's the concern.
Yeah.
So the two centre backs and the goalie. If either of them get injured, the strength index isn't there. Well, we don't. Who's that new guy? Is it the new guy, Alfie?
Ashley Phillips.
Ashley Phillips.
No, I know Ashley
and Alfie
Phillips.
Dorrington.
Yeah, Alfie Dorrington. He's just signed a new contract today, hasn't he, or something?
Yeah.
But we only signed him last year, didn't we? We only signed him last year. And he came with a very, very high reports from wherever he came from, and he's doing really well. And they were saying he's one for the future. So I think what you're saying, I think Phillips will now get pushed up as the replacement for the middle two. I don't think Dyer. I don't want Dyer. Full
Nah,
stop.
that's the whole
And
thing, isn't it? I think Dyer's part of the old regime that he's
Yeah.
cracked open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've got my own thoughts on what should happen to Dyer and the people that don't want to go to other clubs just for the sake of it. I think they should be just gone, get gone, not in. You know, don't get involved in this club, because them kind of players now are going to come in and they're going to spoil the floor, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's dead wood, isn't it? It's got to go. It's got to go. Pav, do you want to ask James? Pav, you got a question for James, Pav?
James, what's your thoughts on Richarlison?
Oh,
That's a good question.
Richarlison. When I was,
I think my internet's messed up.
no, we got the question, Pav. We've got the question.
With Richarlison, I was doing a charity match playing live for Yorkshire Spurs, right? And there was quite a few Everton fans there, and they said to me, "We can tell you how Richarlison will go. He'll start off, he'll get a couple of really good goals, you'll be all excited, and then week by week by week, he'll just frustrate you more and more and more." And that seems to have happened. So I don't want to. He's trying. He's also got a lot on his shoulders to replace Harry Kane. That is a massive shoes to fill. But if I'm absolutely honest, I don't think he's Angie's player for how he wants to play. I don't think he's got that. He wants like quick ball players with everybody else, and I don't think Richarlison fits that mould. So maybe we'll start seeing Son in the centre, or between Son, Solomon. We've got Perisic up there, Kulusevski. We've got Brian Hill, and these players now. Maybe we'll start seeing that rotating. Brennan Johnson, obviously, rotated quite a bit. So I would imagine Richarlison will get less game time now. And I would probably want that as well, if I'm honest. Which sounds hard.
I think he was smart in what he did as well. He made sure to, give him a chance at the start of the season. He didn't drop him instantly. He let him try to, play out of the form. But unfortunately, as evident in the Burnley game, I think Sonny is just way more lethal and has a much better skill set suited to the system to be able to play that striker role a lot easier. I don't think it's a bad thing to, call Richarlison, a bench warmer, or to say he would be impactful off the bench. I think the price tag is what makes people, cringe at that, at calling him that, because it's 60 million for somebody to come off the bench. If he had cost half of that, or maybe, half of 30 million, if he cost maybe 20, 30 million, I think it would be a lot more digestible for him to be on the bench. But again, I don't hate the guy. I just think he just is struggling, and he's very shot for confidence. And to just keep him out the limelight for a bit, I think would help him. And, if he comes off the bench and scores, who says that he might not, start a good run of form and bag a bunch of goals for us? But it's difficult. It's been a difficult start for him. I feel bad, but I guess we have to support our players, and he might, he may come good, he may not. But
see, that's
we've got to have a squad. We have to have a squad if we're gonna, if we're gonna really, really push for a good finish in the league this season. So he's gonna be important. He's gonna be needed. We can't give up on him already.
Yeah, I think he's also like, the 60 million on his head is very hard for a player. I think, like I say, filling them boots from Harry Kane is massive. But yeah, I reckon he'll start getting less and less game time, to be honest with
you. Yeah. Who's obviously lifetime Spurs fan? Who's your favourite player
ever? Gascoigne.
Yeah.
Gascoigne. Nice. Gascoigne's why I'm Tottenham proper. Like I was Tottenham for a few years, and like when I was about 7 and 8, and then got to 9 years old. Gazza signs, and it's like, wow, it was just a personality to come with it. It was just brilliant. Wanted to be him. Do you know what I mean? I remember buying all the shell suits. I saw him wear a shell suit. I was spraying Brute because he's on a Brute commercial, and that the free kicks against Arsenal up this next level. So yeah, Gazza had everything. I remember hearing a story where we was training with Tottenham, and someone kicked the ball. You heard this story? Someone kicked the ball over the fence. You heard this one?
Yeah.
No.
He goes, I'll get it. Jumps over the fence. He doesn't come back to training all day. 24 hours later, the next day, bang on 24 hours, like 10 a.m. the next day, he jumps back over the fence as their trainer goes, got it.
No way. Only he would be able to get away with that. You know, that's a Gaza story if I've ever heard one.
Yeah. See, so it's mainly the player, the personality. Yeah, he's incredible. So he's got to be my best.
I think.
Sid, I'm
with
interested
Gaza-
to know your one. To be fair, now Gaza's James's. Who's your favorite player? Because I don't think I've ever asked you this.
Do you know what? I've always said, right? I don't know if you can tell by my accent, James, but I'm a Lancashire man. I'm born and bred, original Lily Whites, Preston North End. So I'm from Preston. And in the 80s, I had Liverpool, Man City, Liverpool, Everton, and Man United to choose from because they were winning everything, weren't they? Them. And I started watching Spurs, and for me, Glenn Hoddle, because the way he played football, that just inspired me. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to support Spurs. And I just started watching Spurs from there. And I'm the only one that supports Spurs. And even when I go up north now, everybody that knows me and that, they all know me with this Tottenham State because I'm the only like hardcore Spurs fan because I used to travel all the way up from up north to go and watch Spurs and that. And everyone keeps asking me the same question, Darius. Why Spurs? Why did you live up north? Why? Glenn Hoddle, because the things he could do with the ball, man.
So
he was just phenomenal.
We're given similar reasons, I think, for a similar kind of style. And I reckon Matters for the new generation will be that.
Oh, great point.
Yeah, 100%.
Great point.
Yeah.
Could see that.
Who's your favourite, Darius?
Hoddle.
My age is going to show my answer now.
Darius, your one?
My age is going to show my answer. I would have to say there's two in my head that I can really think of. It's either Jermaine Defoe or it would be Son. For me, those two are the ones that stick out the most for me. Bale and Kane are like players who, again, I loved. And again, David Bentley was a player that I loved as well, which is a rogue one.
Right.
But I'm gonna go for. I'm so tied between Defoe or Son. I'm gonna go Son. I'm actually gonna go Son because now he's our captain. I can, he stayed. If he retires here, he will 100% be my favorite player of all time because I have a strong feeling Son will retire at Tottenham Hotspur. So I'm gonna go with Son.
I was looking at this I was trying to find it. When's his contract up? Is it soon or is it not?
I will search it right now for you.
I think it's next year. I think end of next year or the year after. I'm sure.
Making him captain will help.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I hope he stays. Like I said, I think it would be when people were mentioning sort of because I know Saudi was sniffing around Son earlier in the season. I made a very clear statement to say that me personally, and it's not based on the ability of the player or anything, I would just rather keep Son at the club than Harry Kane, especially knowing that you could probably garner a bigger fee for Harry Kane as well. Because I think 50 million euros was the fee touted for Son. So Son, to me, selling Son for 50 million euros, he embodies everything about the club as Harry Kane did. And you can see how the impact he's had. I don't know if you've seen on Twitter, but I saw he FaceTimed Pape Matar on international break and little things like that your captain does. Yeah, there's a
Pape Matar mini Son, or young Sonny, or didn't he call him that? Yeah.
So little things like that where he develops a relationship with his teammates. I think he's going to be a real captain for us, and I'm happy that he's our captain now.
I think from a business model point of view as well, like to have Sonny. And I bet he sells quite a few shirts. And that point,
gosh,
you know what I mean? You got to think about that. But that was my only concern was the Saudi teams coming in. Have they upped that bid for Salah? I don't know if you guys know about that.
215, I think it's going to be.
It's not happening.
World record.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, Son's contract runs out 2025.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he's made him captain because he knows he's already said no to Saudi. So I think he made him captain because he knows I want to keep him here for as long as possible.
Yeah.
But going back to Salah, 215, but they reckon it's all optics. They reckon they're just playing games just to boost the Saudi league. I don't think.
I think it would be crazy if they do bid for Liverpool to reject that, though. I think if you're Liverpool and you don't think you can, use those funds to find maybe not one single replacement for Salah, but 3 or 4 players, maybe 3 players in this market, let's say, who could fill that void. I think Liverpool will be incredibly stupid, only because the season started. They might not do it, but even then, 215 million and snapping your hand off whatever time you put that bid in.
I know. James, Pav had connection issues, so she had to go off. But she's got a question for you. James, who got you into the love for Spurs? Great question.
Got me into the love of it.
Who got you into the love for Spurs?
I think that's Gaza. That's definitely Gaza. Yeah, it was. It was almost like a cartoon character, and I was at an age where That was incredible. He was popping up on TV all the time doing funny stuff as well, not just playing amazing for Tottenham. I remember being heartbroken when he went to Lazio. That was horrible. But that got me into it. I mean, in 1987, I was just, when I first watched it, became a Spurs supporter, I just watched it because it was on the cup. It was a cup final. And I just liked how Spurs were playing. So I just said, right, I want these. And then they lost straight away. But the deep love of it came in 1991 with Gascoigne. Yeah, unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah.
I think Gascoigne, again, I'm only 23, and Gascoigne for me, again, he's like incredible. Because I don't have the luxury of like you guys being able to watch him when he was right in his pomp. But I mean, just he seems like if you were to put him in modern football, I think he would do pretty well in the modern game, Paul Gascoigne. So yeah, I've got nothing but respect for him, even though I'm pretty young.
I was in Wembley and I saw him in a box over, and it's me and a few friends, and I goes, Gazza, can I have a picture? He goes, no, but he's only joking. He goes, yeah,
oh, he's great. He's great.
We'll go over there, and there was a girl there. He'd I don't know, sort of similar age to me, and he spent the whole time shaking my hand, looking at her like that.
Oh my goodness. Never will he ever stop.
My idol. No, he was brilliant though. He was talking about. We was at Wembley. The pictures there, Gazza's there. I'm just talking like, and he was talking me through his goal and pointing it through. I just couldn't believe it.
Wow. That must have been surreal for you, especially knowing that he was the person who brought you into the Tottenham family as well. That must have been so surreal.
Yeah, very surreal for me, man. I've had many.
I hope you got a picture taken. I hope you framed that.
No, I didn't. Did I get? Yeah, I did actually.
Yeah.
Do you know why I didn't do anything with it? I was wearing red. I never wear red, obviously, for real.
Oh, the worst time possible.
Yeah, I was borrowing a friend's shirt because it was cold outside and it was red.
Oh no!
I was like,
oh no!
You know what I mean? So that
just say it's the AIA sponsor. That's what you can say. Just say it's the AIA sponsor.
Yeah. I think someone was on about changing the colour for it to put a picture up. Oh, it's gone now.
Wow.
Yeah.
James, wearing red. Unacceptable.
I know it.
Crazy.
I burnt it when I got home.
Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you did. You obviously got a season ticket, haven't you, at Spurs?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you don't?
No, season tickets. You get. Well, I play quite a few of the match days anyway, so you get match day access. But
Nice.
we watch in the concourse or up in premium. We don't go into the bowl.
Okay.
No, we're not really supposed to go into the bowl basically. But you got about 5-10 seconds delay, so I started wearing noise cancellation headphones so I couldn't hear what the crowd was doing.
Yeah,
it's a very smart idea.
On it really for the gig and everything. So no, I don't have it, but I've got membership and I get tickets, and the club helped me out, and Hat Trick have given me some stuff before. They're the people that helped book me at Tottenham. So yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
Right, so I know you've got to go in a couple of 5-10 minutes. I've got a question in terms of, obviously your song's gone mental, and like you said before at the beginning, Robbie Williams is done with your words in it and that. Have you actually had contact with Robbie Williams, and are you planning on doing it together, as in hooking up and you playing the guitar, him singing it, or you both singing it or something? Anything like that in plan?
Well, I'd like to do that. Yeah, I'd be up for that. It'd be a good crack, wouldn't it? But I've not had contact with him. I've heard him on Talk Sport saying about he'll come to the stadium at some point. But I have had quite a bit of contact with the club directly now, off the back of it, which has been really nice. And they've really looked after me. And they kind of see that in some places I wasn't getting the credit for the lyrics. So the club then got stuck in and come in, looked after one of their own as such, and gave me the credit. So that for me is a million times better than what happened before. So I'm not saying I'm not a fan of what Robbie did, and he's definitely helped me without knowing to help me. But the club, that, like I say, it's everything to me. But the club getting involved and saying we want to work with you in certain areas and certain things and stuff, then that's incredible for me. So I imagine they would, if Robbie or there was any talk about him singing it, they would involve me, because I can feel the club's got my back.
Yeah,
lovely. I love to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, like I said, I'm not a massive Take That fan, but Robbie Williams seems that kind of a person. His personality is a bit like Gaz's, isn't it? Where he's just, you know,
Yeah.
tongue in cheek. He comes out, he likes to have a bit of a laugh and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And for him to do what he do, he just proves, you know, he's a massive Port Vale fan as well, isn't he? But it just proves such a nice guy that he actually done it. He must have loved the lyrics for him to do it, because
that's the thing. That's nice for me. I mean, I imagine like millions of people have tried to change them lyrics to something else, and he's never done it. So yeah, that's quite nice. Quite a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Just before I come on air, actually, he's I looked at his Instagram, and he's Tottenham have sent him like loads of free tops and everything. I just sometimes I just got charged for my membership online. Got free Tottenham top for him and his missus and his kids, and I got charged 60 quid for that.
Yeah. No, I'd love them to send me the third kit. I think that third kit's stunning. So
yeah, I wouldn't mind getting the third kit. He got a third kit as well. He did.
Did he? Lucky boy.
Hey,
lucky boy.
Well, you know what? If Daniel Levy is watching, which I hope so, or anybody from the club shop or any part, James needs the whole kits, guys. Come on, send it
Give
to him.
Give him all three. Training and everything. Tracksuits and everything. He deserves it.
Absolutely. And make sure on one of them's got gas going at the back.
Yeah. But last night, the PR and the press and the media guys, they've been so lovely. There's about 2 or 3 of them that are at the top bit of the club, and they've been. What happened is Ledley King's wife had seen it, and she stepped in to help as well. Seeing I wasn't getting the credit, sort of stuff. But I'd just done "God Save Our Ledley King." I don't know if you've heard that one that I've done.
I've not heard that one. I've not heard that one.
The day the coronation was, Tottenham had a home game, and I changed "God Save the King" to "God Save Our Ledley King."
Oh God, that's amazing.
And then so I'm still I get on well with those guys as well. I think that's what I'm talking about with the organic. Now, how I want things to happen. Yeah. It needs to be just like a nice family thing and organic, and see what happens, and don't be too forceful.
Yeah. I know you want to go in a minute. I was going to ask you. Yeah, I was going to.
Can I ask one more? I've got one question last, if you don't mind, James. Okay, so this is a bit of a fun question, not too serious, hopefully. But if you could collaborate with one artist of your choice, past or present, to sing or come up with a Tottenham chant song or anthem, who would that be?
Well, since Robbie tried to steal the lyrics back, I'd have to go for someone who's dead who can't do that. So I'll have to go for Elvis or something.
Nice.
It's a great question.
It is, isn't it?
I love the Rolling Stones, to be honest.
Nice.
I love the Rolling Stones. So be Keith Richards or Jagger. Yeah. That'd be a dream.
Like that.
Yeah. Or the Kasabian boy. I know Serge really well from Kasabian. We used to tour with those guys. So doing something with him. I was at a party recently and he was there. And he was telling me, he goes, I can't believe what you're doing at Spurs. I'd love to do that with Leicester over what he's doing. Because he's a real football guy as well. Kasabian. So yeah, maybe some of him would be really good fun as well.
You know what would have been amazing? You know what would have been absolutely amazing? You know Soccer AM?
Yeah.
You know how they always used to have a band at the beginning?
Yeah.
If that was,
for me, innit?
If that was still now, a couple of months earlier, just before they folded, for you to appear on there and to do that, that would have been phenomenal. Because that Soccer AM, I watched it from over 20 years ago, and every band that came on at the beginning, there was always that kick to it, and
that's right.
And they gave him the opportunity, didn't they? And that for you, mate, that would have been fantastic.
It's all done now. Is there anything in the pipeline to come through, or is it to replace something? I remember fantasy football. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, fantasy football. Yeah. No, there's nothing at all. Because Smithies, I think they were linking.
I think Sky Sports have just got too much control now, haven't they? Where they bring in all the YouTubers and all your influencers, and they can pretty much get you a pretty good morning show. So.
Yeah.
Sadly, I do miss Saturday morning Soccer AM. Nothing more than the Skill School and Showboat. Oh my God, they were my favorite things.
My song was in Showboat once, actually. With
was it? Oh,
I did an anti-racism song with Miche, another Tottenham fan, called No Supremacy, and then they got hold of that, and that was played.
Nice.
Great. Sean's got a question for you, and then we'll wrap it up. How's your relationship with Tim Winstone at Spurs Song Sheets?
Yeah, great, man. Yeah, we used to speak quite a bit. Not speak as much recently, but yeah, we used to speak quite a bit. more through in Twitter messaging and stuff. And Spurs song sheet guys, yeah, we speak. We're all in the same family, aren't we? Again, in the same boat, trying to do one thing, and that's help out the club. Do you know what I mean? And getting a better atmosphere there. And those guys are doing great.
And you guys have done a great job. I mean, I don't know who is responsible for the Destiny Udoji Whitney Houston song chant. Is that theirs?
Yeah,
that's great. I love that one as well. So yeah, you guys are doing amazing jobs. Amazing job.
We're all in the same. We all want the same thing, don't we? We want the best atmosphere around, basically. Yeah,
100%. 100%.
This is it. And obviously, the more you do it, the fans getting excited, they get involved, and then it just goes viral, doesn't it? And everyone starts singing it more and more, and that's what you want.
Yeah,
that's what you want.
Definitely.
So, plans for the future, James? Have you got a busy schedule now? Are you planning on what you're planning tours? Are you doing?
No, I mean, like it's I also play around the areas of London. I play I play just gigs as well. Plans is just more. I don't really know. Really, it's more songs at Spurs. Obviously, sound like David Brent there, don't I? Cut them all these in the pipeline. So it's just like that, really. Just and doing my own stuff. I do it more for when I was in a band. You didn't have a life, so you was doing music all the time. The reason I'm doing this now, and the reason I go traveling in between seasons, is I can have a life and I can choose to do what I want to do. So it's gives me the freedom to have quite a nice life at the minute. To be honest, doing music and the Tottenham, the guys at Tottenham and Hat-Trick, they really helped me. So just doing as much as I can, trying to keep hold of my dream job.
Best of both worlds, isn't it? Singing and watching Spurs. Combine them both.
Imagine telling 1991 me that I'll be doing that when he's watching that Gaza free kick. I'll be like, And when the club tagged me in a post, that young me came out. I was like so excited. I felt like you know what I mean? It's
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Spursy 4141, our very own Jodi. Big up, James. Love your work. She does she does a rating show every week. So maybe you can come on one night and help her rate the players' performances after the game.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm up for it. Thank you.
There you go. Right, James. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Love your work too.
Right, James. I know you want to go for it. Right. Do you want to lead us to the song, and we can sign off with it if you want to?
You want me to play it?
Yes, please. Let me see if I can get you main screen.
Don't know if I've got it.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get James to sing I'm Loving Angie Instead. So let's get it going. I can join in as well because I love singing.
I genuinely think you're going to make Sid's whole entire year just from this, mate, James. So.
Hang on a second, mate. I should have. Talk amongst yourselves.
That's fine. Right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much as well for joining us tonight. Thank you for all your comments, but please make sure you subscribe and smash that like button to PRTv Spurs, because we have loads of more content. People like James coming on, entertaining us, all Spurs fans. So go ahead, smash that like button. Make sure you follow James Black as well, the voice of Spurs. Give him a massive shout out wherever you are on whatever social media as well.
Through it all, we'll play the way we want to. Big and plastic glue, whether I'm right or wrong. It's big and bold, so you can keep your budget zero. Conte and Mourinho, even Christian grows. Everywhere we go, I'm loving Angie instead.
Hey, lovely. I feel so privileged. I feel so privileged. I got my own voice of Spurs big Angie instead performance. Thank you so much. Appreciated that.
No worries, man.
And I was going to say, I've got you know, on TikTok at the moment, are you on TikTok, James? You are, aren't you?
Yeah. Voice of Spurs, yeah.
You know, at the moment, they've got that song that's going global and everybody's doing that James Ingram and Patti LaBelle song. I don't know if you've seen them come up on your feed.
No, I only really got on that post, I think, with TikTok.
But I don't know if you remember the song, that Baby Come to Me. Let me put my arms around you. This was meant to be.
No.
Like, it's basically, it goes, I'm not going to sing it because everyone's going to crucify me, but I've been listening to that constantly, right? And I've got my own words to it, yeah, with Ange and Tottenham. So I'm gonna bug you about it, and I'm gonna see if we can get the lyrics onto that, because every time I go on TikTok, it comes on, and people are just doing whatever, they're dancing to it. But I've got my home thing, like it's basically Baby Come to Me, but I've changed it to Angie Come to Me. Let me put my arms around you. This was meant to be, and we're all so glad we found you. We need you every day, because we'd rather watch your play than Conte's. But I've done it all, but I just need you to tune it up for me. And I'm telling you, mate, I want to sing with you.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome to.
Yeah, but I'm going to dig it up. But listen, absolutely massive thank you for taking time out. I know you're a busy man, and I know you have to reschedule everything, but honestly, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. Loved it. Darius, you've loved him as well?
I'm loving James Black instead. That's what I'm going to say now.
I'm telling you.
I think that's what I'm going to say. I think that's what I'll finish on.
Absolutely. You know what?
Thank you for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. James, tell people where they can find you, where they can follow you.
So the Voice of Spurs on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter. So the Voice of Spurs. And I'm playing live at the Sheffield United game at the White Hart Bar, which is level 5, block 525, East Stands, and the next game.
Right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to be at the game, make sure you go and give your support to James, because after all, he's one of our own. So the one of our own's gone. Now we've got another one of our own. So James Black is one of our own. There we go. Right. Absolute pleasure, mate. You know what? Best 55 minutes we've had this season and last season to have you on there. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. And we'll leave you with the song again, but the actual video with James singing it. So thank you very much. Have a great evening, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the show. Once again, massive thank you to James. We will see you soon. Take care, everyone. Whether I'm right or wrong, it's big and small. You can keep your Prtvspurs, Conte and Mourinho, and even Christian Rose. It's everywhere we go. Develop